If your business feels hard right now, congratulations, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The middle isn't a bug in the entrepreneurial system. It's a feature that filters out everyone who isn't serious. Winners and quitters look identical at the start. They only separate in the middle. When did we start expecting the hardest part to feel easy? You can't see the finish line from where you're standing. That's by design. Studies of successful entrepreneurs reveal that they make their breakthrough decisions an average of 3 times after they seriously consider quitting. You're not behind schedule. You're just in the compression zone where pressure either creates diamonds or dust. Your competitors are feeling this too. Most will blink first. The cost of quitting now isn't just business. It's your relationship with the difficulty forever. Walk away when you can't see the end, and you'll program yourself to abandon ship every time the map goes dark. That pattern will follow you into the next venture, your relationships, and every hard thing you attempt. But finish what you can't see yet, and you'll unlock something more valuable than success. You'll prove to yourself that you can trust your commitment over your comfort. The entrepreneurs who win aren't more talented. They just refuse to leave the middle. One of the things that we always used to say when I was building a business was, if this was easy, everyone would have done it. Right during that time, after the excitement, after the initial flush of movement, after everything is starting to become rote, that's when the decision happens. That's when you make the decision to either move forward or get bogged down and quit. And that's one of the tests of an entrepreneur, of a person running a business. It's not about how long they start or what they're doing, but can they persist when everything doesn't look right? And in fact, if you look at all sorts of entrepreneurs on a regular basis, they have that ability to stick to it, slog through it, dig deep and move forward. Now, a lot of us have the ability to get something going, but keeping the pattern going over time is really tough and very difficult. I can tell you that there have been lots of dark times where you wonder, does this make any sense? But I know when I start making those questions, something fascinating, fun, and exciting is just around the corner. And I'm not sure what it is, but I know when those questions start popping up, that's the indication that something new is coming up. So how do you get through it? Start looking forward. Now, many of those times, people in our position are in what sailors call the doldrums, which is you're not moving forward and you're not moving back, but you're stuck in the middle. And the doldrums is a hard place for us to be, because if it's moving forward, there's energy and you've got to get going. If you're moving backwards, failing, having problems, then double down and start working. But if it's moving along and there's not much, it's static, that's when we get into trouble. So that's that middle section. It's messy. It's not quite working the way it's supposed to. In fact, never works the way it's supposed to. It continues to evolve, but you're not quite sure how that evolves or where it evolves. In many ways, what happens is that we had this plan, the plan has fallen apart, everything doesn't quite seem to be going the right way, and then you make the decision, does this really make sense? And most people walk away right there. But those that don't, those that try and try again, succeed. If you've ever spent any time reading about how the rockets were built in the United States for the first space missions, there was failure after failure after failure until they finally figured it out. That kind of failure can get defeating, especially when you're that public. But that kind of failure is also very valuable. And you start to question whether this is a good idea at all. But you keep pushing forward. Now, an interesting side note there is a lot of the things they designed and figured out how to do, they didn't document and they've forgotten. And I know a couple of people that are actually working on rediscovering some of these things. Part of that was their need to continue to move forward. So if you're in the middle of something, and by the way, this time of year is always challenging because you're not quite moving forward, the doldrums, and there are certain times in the year, for me, January is a huge doldrum time. You've worked up hard at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, you're starting to see the fruits, but they're not quite working like they have to. But you start doing it, and is this worth it? Is this really worth it? Invariably, something fascinating comes up. And interestingly enough, I'm telling you this now because I had those thoughts a couple of weeks ago. And now a new and interesting business has just popped its head up. It's fascinating to see how that momentum comes, the wind comes into sails and you move forward. You've got to always understand that if this is a good idea and you committed to it, you can then move forward. You may have to stick to it longer. In fact, you're going to have to stick to it longer than you ever expected. In the final analysis, this is the time that makes the difference. This is the time that you're going to learn something, you're going to recognize something, you're going to have something do. Wow, that's amazing. This is what's going to happen. In the power that creates within you. Understand, when you start questioning, when you're messy in the middle, you start questioning those areas, that's the indication that something's about to happen. Stick to it. Get it done. Figure out a new way of doing things, working, or just put your nose to the grindstone and keep going. It's not always fun. The times that is not fun is the test. Is the tax that we have for the lifestyle we live and the people we serve, because that is what determines greatness. Not the great ideas, because everyone has them. It's your ability to execute on those great ideas and deal with the doldrums. What are the ways that you get through those doldrums, through that time? Put in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation. I look forward to talking to you later.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.